Good to go.
Thanks.
Let me pull up the agenda.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You guys seeing the agenda?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, Tom.
So, start off with some quick introductions. Tom Kurek, the P3 director. Suzanne.
Suzanne Ray, program manager, P3.
Matt Gaynor, project manager, P3, if I can get the words out.
Tongue twister.
David.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. David Dragoo, EDC Commissioner.
I think Carl is on. And Jay.
EDC Commissioner.
Yeah, Jay Seaton, Commissioner.
Great. Well, thank you guys. We have brought on, we recently awarded our Lakewood Complex project that we've been working on for a couple years now. And we have brought on the team that we awarded it to, which is they brought together a combo team of Metro West Housing Solutions, Oakwood Homes, and Elevation Community Land Trust. So they're going to, I will allow them to introduce themselves, and then we'll have them do a presentation on the proposal that we have got. We are starting a pre-development agreement phase with them to go into a development agreement after that with. Bren, if you want to start, and then you can go throughout the team.
Great. So Brenda Lee Connors, I usually just go by Bren. I'm with Metro West Housing Solutions, where I'm the Chief Real Estate Officer. So I've been here about 18 years, and in my role, I oversee all of our new development as well as asset management and property management. And I'll hand off to Amy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amy Schwartz. I'm Vice President of Social Responsibility and Community Partnerships at Oakwood Homes. I've been in this role for about 1.5 years, but I've been with the organization about 17 years. And we're excited to share with you our vision for the Lakewood complex.
Great. Am I able to share my screen? We have a presentation we could show.
I believe so. Does it say share underneath or no?
It says disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay.
Let me take a look here. There must have been an update because everything is a little. There we go. You should be good there, Bren.
Okay. Okay. Are you seeing this presentation?
Not yet.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not. Do you all? Are you? Okay. Oh, good.
It's good. Okay. So, as Tom mentioned, we are a combination team. Very excited to be working on this development in Lakewood. So we have kind of divided up. It's sort of 3 parcels, and so one team is taking parcel 2, which is the Oakwood and Elevation team, and then Metro West is going to develop right now on parcel 1, and then parcel 3 is still in discussion about its ultimate use in life. So I will let Amy talk a little bit about the Oakwood Elevation team.
So on parcel 2, which is the parcel to the west, if you're familiar with the site, adjacent to Aviation Park, and that's where we're proposing, I think, 86 homes for home ownership. And it'll be a combination of market rate, really focused on missing middle, kind of that 140 to 100% area median income. And through a partnership with Elevation Community Land Trust, they have additional kind of government subsidies and philanthropic dollars that allow them to sell homes to folks that are 70 to 80% area median income. And their model as a land trust, they hold the land, in trust for 99 years. The owners own the home, and they're able to build up to 25% equity share. So exactly what the mix of those will be, we're still exploring that, but that's the vision there. Also, we've been working at Oakwood with the state early childhood office in their licensing department to look at how we can present a home in a community that's already approved for a large family childcare licensed home. And so we have 2 of those proposed kind of right adjacent to Aviation Park. So we can bake childcare into our community. And you'll hear too, the Metro West side has a vision for preschool classrooms as well there. So just a little bit more about Oakwood. We're a vertically integrated home building company. We've started in 1991. We've closed over 30,000 homes, most of them in Colorado. We also are in Salt Lake City and Phoenix currently. But our first home was sold to Louis and Louise Espinoza in Green Valley Ranch for under $90,000 at the time. So we have always been very focused on that first-time home buyer. And we are very proud of our ability to, really we say we own the left side of the affordability curve against the other kind of big builders. We have a goal by 2031 to produce 5,000 homes annually across all of our markets, half of which are sold to customers at 100% AMI or less. So we know we can't do that alone. It's only through creative partnerships such as this that we'll be able to meet that goal. But part of our special sauce is that we were acquired by Clayton Homes, which is a part of Berkshire Hathaway 7 years ago. And so we just have really healthy, financial position and ability to finance projects. We have a panel factory here in Denver where the homes would be produced, and we just have access to that supply chain that really helps us decrease the cost of construction as much as possible, so we can pass that on to our buyers. I'll pause there and let Bren talk more about Metro West.
Okay, so Metro West Housing Solutions is the housing authority in Lakewood. And last year we celebrated our 50th anniversary as an organization. So we say the next 50 years, we'll just keep growing even more. We have about 1,200 housing choice vouchers, which you might think of as Section 8 vouchers that we run for the city. We have a little under 1,700 apartments that we own and manage and developed over the years in 16 communities and 18 buildings. In addition to providing the housing, we also provide resident services. So that might include financial planning classes, cooking classes, after school programs, things for the seniors to help age in place. We have a mix of senior and family housing that we do. And just to show you some examples, we strongly believe that affordable housing should also be beautiful housing, and people should have really good places to live. So this development is at Harlan and Alameda in Lakewood. Most everything we have is in Lakewood. It was an old office building, so you can see that. Interestingly, built in 1981, but never really occupied except 2 floors. And so we converted it into apartments and then built an additional apartment building adjacent to it. So it's a little over 150 apartments. This is called Indy Street Flats. It's not too far from the P3 site in Lakewood. And it's a combination of an existing property that we rehabbed some of the apartments, a new construction building, and then you can't really see it, but this was a Masonic lodge that the Masons combined with another group, and we bought that and did adaptive reuse, and we did some micro units in there. So kind of an interesting combination of things. Our Lamar campus is by the Lamar station of the light rail. It was built in 2 phases, and it's a total of 175 apartments for families. And the architect that we'll be working with on the P3 site is the same architect that did this Lamar Station development. And then this one is a recent one that we built. It's called Sage Corner. And I put this in particular because it's a 3-story walk-up, and the product that we'll be looking to build is also 3-story walk-up apartments. So to give you a sense of they're not kind of like your grandmother's suburban 3-story walk-ups. So we like to keep things interesting. So I wanted to show you that. So our vision for the campus, we talked a little bit about this, but if you're familiar with it, this is the building, the parking that will be a flex parcel. Parcel 1 is going to be the rental piece that Metro West will work on, doing a low-income housing tax credit development. Parcel 2 will be the Oakwood Homes Elevation Community Land Trust parcel. And then parcel 3, at the moment, we don't have plans. So we'll be working with Tom and Suzanne and the group on how to flesh that out and what makes sense there. Amy, do you want to talk a little bit about the community support and partnerships we've developed?
Sure, yes. I mean, Metro West has been working in the community for a long, long time, and so really has great relationships with the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, the Arts District there that you'll see here in a second how we're plan to integrate the art walk throughout the community and really use that as a thread to connect the for rent and for sale parcels. We were proud to get a letter of support from the Jefferson County Community Network, which is a group of folks around the whole county advocating for more affordable housing. And I think that's, yeah, who else do we have there? The West Colfax.
Yeah, it's so the local business improvement district and business association along West Colfax. This has really a lot of local strong support. When I was at the WCCA meeting, which is West Colfax Community Association last week, and let them know that we were selected. And oftentimes affordable housing is not the thing that people are happy to hear is coming. And this group was just thrilled that we were selected. They are so excited to see this development come to this area. So to kind of flesh it out a little bit more, and then some more slides are going to show this. Metro West owns this apartment complex or campus called Creekside, and it is senior housing. So it's 200 units of housing that opened 15 and 18 years ago, the 2 different buildings. To zoom in a little bit more, I'll talk about parcel 1 and what we're doing there. So right now, there are a lot of mature trees on the site, and it has very much of a park-like feeling to it. And the city, people in the city really appreciate that and the trees. So we have met with the planning director about trying to preserve as much as possible of this tree canopy and kind of open feel to the space. And he is a strong supporter of that. So we would be doing multiple buildings of the 3-story walk-up product, and then a community center that includes our offices and workspace along with some childcare space. So we have been working with Jefferson County, and they're going to provide some technical support and hopefully maybe have access to some funds that we might be able to tap into. Also, they'll work with us on selecting a childcare provider and making sure that they are able to operate and run well. We also are working with the Arts District there in real need of artist studio space. They own a building that they rent out spaces, but that's one thing they asked, could we incorporate? And so we're going to try to do that, and they've agreed to manage those spaces for us. The financing that we're going to do, I mentioned, is the low-income housing tax credit, and this happens to fall within what's called a qualified census tract. And because of that, for one, we get a boost in the amount of tax credits that we'll get, a 30% boost. But secondly, being in a QCT, a qualified census tract, allows us to build community serving spaces like childcare and artist studios, and use tax credits on them and still charge rent. If we were not in a QCT, that would not be allowed. You can only build things that are going to be used by the particular property. So that's allowing us to do these things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And we've been wanting to try to get childcare for a long time. So this is a great opportunity for us. So just a little bit more detail about this. This corner is right now the art walk. It's an art loop that 40 West has done. It's maybe like a 5-mile walk. I might be exaggerating. 3-mile walk. I don't know. Anyway, so this corner has the art walk on it. It's again across the street from our Creekside development. Again, we're keeping the tree lawn, if you will, in here. These are just some ideas of sculptures that our architect found images. Again, keeping the outdoor feel while still being in the city. Some more connection. This isn't necessarily what the childcare will look like, but we thought if we could have the outdoor space for the childcare really incorporate the woods and the forest in there. The artist studios will also have outdoor space kind of to the north, which I am not an artist, but my understanding is north-facing studios are great for artists. We talk about this as kind of a central square, so it's right outside of the community center and where we might be able to have activities happening at various points with the arts district and our staff and activities. And then the connection over to the Oakwood Homes site, so kind of a promenade or kind of a plaza to connect us over to the park. And then again, just some images of how that connects, different versions of what 3-story walk-up buildings might look like. And I will hand off to Amy to talk about that parcel.
Yeah, so this is our proposed site plan at this point in time, that just different shades on the homes here. So these are paired homes, duplexes, sometimes we call them duets. They're just a little bit different width, 20 foot, 18 foot, and 16 foot wide. Just to maximize efficiency and density on the site. And then the 2 homes that are to the west there that are more yellow or cream, those are the 2 childcare homes. So they would essentially be kind of one side, the living space, and the second side, the shorter side, would be kind of where the providers would have the childcare space. So separate space for their business and the children, and separate living space. And we've been in conversation for well over a year with executives partnering to invest in children. I'm a founding board member there. It's a statewide organization working to increase early childhood across the state. They are going to be providing technical assistance for us and have been on this idea. And we've also been talking to a real estate investment trust about purchasing those homes and leasing them or renting them to the childcare providers until the provider's business is financially feasible for them to take over the mortgage. So we love that idea, and we've been thinking about it for a long time, and we're just very excited to have a project where we can actually implement that. And then on the left side of the slide are just different possible elevations. They could be 2-story, 3-story. We haven't built the duplexes yet, so the pictures on the bottom are just the single family homes of this product line that we've built in the past. And as we transition to the next slide, I just don't want to lose the highlight point that I think really made all of us excited as we put this proposal together, that we're creating a truly mixed income community where families and individuals from 30% to 140% area median income, you know, are building community together. And, you know, we've been talking about the dream of having a Metro West, you know, kind of current renter, having a year or so, you know, in front of them to help them get ready for ownership. And so that's what we hope to facilitate and have a really robust, inclusive community here.
Yeah, I was telling the group when we did our interview, we used to be able to graduate, if you will, folks out of our housing into home ownership, but I bet it's been 15 years since we've really been able to do that in any meaningful way, because the gap or the leap from the rental price to home ownership just grew so big that we haven't been able to help people buy homes. And so when Oakwood approached us with this and Elevation Community Land Trust, we were just so excited. And we had a kind of a pre-meeting yesterday and talked to Stefka from Elevation. And she said, now I want specifically to target the Metro West households. So we really are thrilled about that. And then to be able to look at this childcare piece, which is in such need and such short supply. I will tell you that when we're putting together our pro forma, we know how hard it is to run childcare. We're actually not planning to charge any or very little rent on the childcare space because we want someone to succeed and be able to keep that operating. And
maybe just for like a reference point, that product line that we're proposing is called On2. Currently, the single family units are for sale in our Reunion community, which is in Commerce City, for an average sale price of $350,000. So that's market rate, just kind of a reference point of what we're looking at.
So right now what we're doing is we're both pulling our teams together, starting the early development process. We have a meeting tomorrow to start working on the pre-development agreement with the state. We're talking about the lease for our parcel. So putting all those things together, we've been talking to the city and that's been going well. The timing for the Metro West parcel is that we will apply for tax credits in the February 1st round, competitive round through CHAFA. And we think this is a very compelling application because of it being part of this P3 and kind of a test case for how to make that work, as well as having the childcare and the partnership with the homeownership. And there's just a lot that will make this a compelling story for CHAFA. If we're awarded credits, we would know that in May. And then it's really how fast we can get through the city. And they're also working on their own processes to speed up permitting for affordable housing. So it's possible we could be in the ground with the rental parcel by the end of 26, more likely early 27. Unless the city really does get all its departments aligned to process the application more quickly. And Amy can talk a little bit about the Oakwood Homes timing.
Yes, we want to move as fast as possible. Lots of partners with just kind of executing our agreement with the state and all our utility partners and so forth. We'll really treat this project just like any other project, and that'll go through our land development team and their due diligence process. But I do have one exciting point of news that will help our timeline, and you all may not be aware of it, but Tom and Suzanne and Matt Currently, this parcel is zoned mixed use general with the city of Lakewood, and the city is undergoing a pretty big, kind of change to zoning across the city. And so we met with the city's planning director earlier this week, and he let us know that based on the policies that they're pushing forward and the city council will vote on in August, because of the density we're proposing here, the current zoning will work for this project. So that
Awesome.
just saved us,
That's great.
yeah. So, I think we want to have, a groundbreaking in 12 months or so. So, lots of things, as you know, can go sideways in development, but we feel really good about the partnership and the folks that are advocating to keep this timeline moving along. And that was a huge win. So, okay, so we've talked so much and we appreciate you, and you can tell the enthusiasm, I hope that you can tell we have for this project. So we wanted to entertain any questions you all have.
Well, it's really exciting. Remind me how many total residents you anticipate housing here?
So we're planning for 120 apartments on our site. Obviously, that number could shift up or down a little bit, but that works well, the pro forma that we've put together. And then Amy.
Plus the 86, I think
Yeah,
it's.
so a little over 200.
200 units, and then the times that by how many residents there is. So
Got it.
Carl,
So are the duplexes going to be sold as one unit per building to an owner, or each individual side sold separately?
Yeah, each individual side is sold separately.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, just one clarifying question. Are you guys gonna have an HOA in this for sale area?
I think we will, yes.
Okay.
If I can follow up on that.
And do you have an estimate on cost? Because for the AMI calculations, that'll adjust the sales price down, of course. But
Yeah, I mean, we understand the total cost of housing. And so we'll be taking that into consideration for sure. But I think there does need to be a mechanism to, maintain the common spaces. And, in other communities, we, use metro districts to build and finance the infrastructure. I don't think that's the strategy we're going to use here. But we, I don't have clear answers yet. We're just so at the beginning of the pro forma, but appreciate the call out and reminder, the mindfulness of that.
If I can follow up on David's question, so the HOA is going to be in charge of maintaining what exactly, the streets as well as the sidewalks, or what do you envision them? What services do you envision them providing?
I mean, I think just a traditional HOA that, maintains the common green space and so forth. Probably the snow removal and, those traditional things, the watering of common spaces.
and just to give you guys a little bit further clarification, I don't know if we mentioned it, but the plan is to ground lease parcel 1 and sell parcel 2 to Oakwood Homes and Elevation Land Trust.
And I would point out Reed Street is a city street, so the city maintains that. So the HOA that Amy's talking about would be internal to the site.
and Tom, the land lease is on the apartments for rent, and then the other one is on the for sale.
Correct.
Okay.
It just structural wise, it just made it made things a little bit more easier. And I don't know how we would continue ownership of the land of parcel 2 on for sale units. And then as well as getting the residents the benefit of owning the home on other lands. And I don't think the state really wants to manage that process either.
Yeah. So I've assumed this, but I want to double check. So is Elevation going to maintain a community land trust model here or on parcel 2 or?
So on,
Some of the homes,
Some of
right?
them,
So
yeah,
Oakwood will, in theory, acquire the parcel. And then we will develop the home sites and build the homes. And then we will work with Elevation to sell the homes to their income, approved buyers. And they will hold the land lease for the land under that number of homes, which will be sprinkled throughout.
okay.
and I think that's what about, I think the number was about 16 to 20 or something like that. Is that right, Amy?
Yes, based on the kind of middle land price we included,
Yeah.
I think. So a little bit more work to do there to finalize what the acquisition price will be and how that relates to the ratio of permanently affordable home ownership versus market rate. But I think this price point has not been delivered in the city of Lakewood for 20 plus years or so. And I think that was a really compelling point for all of us.
That's what we heard from the city planner as well. Yeah. Anything else?
Great questions.
Well, thank you guys for presenting. We're excited to kick off our pre-development agreement work tomorrow. Get into that. If you want to stay on, you're welcome to. You're also welcome to drop off as we get into the next parts of the agenda.
All right, you all have a great rest of your day. We look forward to staying in touch.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you for
guys.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Our
you.
pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let me get this back up. Great. Shall we move into other projects now or anything to recap on that aspect?
Just move into other projects, and if there's
Okay.
anything you guys think of as we go along, we can recap at the end.
Sounds good. All right, I'll begin with the Steamboat Project. And just as a little reminder and brief overview, Steamboat Project is an early childcare and workforce housing project up in Steamboat Springs, and it's partnered with Routt County, City of Steamboat, CDOT, and P3. And initiative there is to do towards actually coming up soon, hopefully conduct a land swap so that the land currently right now, it's a mix between city and state CDOT land, and it will have to be all one or all the other. And we're going to do a land swap. So some of the parcel, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, goes to the city. They get more the riverside, which is what they'd hoped for. And then the building parcel, anticipated building parcel, would be CDOT's. And that is initially it started with parking underneath, and it just was prohibitively expensive. So we've revamped and redesigned, and that's what I think since our last update, that's what we last reported on. And we're still conducting that. Currently, it's still a wood build, a timber build, and looking at panelization or potentially adding modular as well. Early childcare still, it shrunk a little bit in terms of square footage for pricing, but we're still looking about 33 overall price of 33 million for this build. City of Steamboat has just hired an owner's rep, and he is local to the area, significant experience on that. So we are making, and just as a reminder and refresher, City of Steamboat will be the owner of that building. So we will do a land lease, a 50 to 99 year land lease for that space. So making strides and moving, we've definitely reevaluated according to costing, as is expected, especially looking at just it's a prohibitively expensive lot. Right now, it's just a giant hole in the ground. So it costs a lot to get it to buildable. So we're kind of looking at all angles to make sure it's a good idea to move forward, looking at other sites too. But currently, this new reframe, we are currently moving forward while also exploring other. And that is workforce on floors 2, 3, and 4, workforce housing rather, / attainable housing, and then ECE, early child care, on that first ground level. Any thoughts or questions on that one? I know we've been talking about this one for a while, so this isn't new for y'all, but we do have traction, so that's a good thing. All right, then continuing on, additional project that we have up right now is the Governor's Mansion parking lot, and that is the parking lot truly adjacent to the Governor's Mansion, currently used for parking. It's leased out, and it's also used for any of the guests who attend Governor's Mansion activities or events. And this came up, I believe, I don't actually remember the inception date. I think it was around 2022, before my time, that it was moved through CDC and through a directive from the governor's office to take a look at affordable or attainable housing on that lot. So we are currently working with a technical advisor on our bench, as well as legal, and eventually we'll bring in financial as well to head towards RFQ. So we're kind of looking at a similar setup. Lakewood has really been, we've been really developing the program for how we're going to go to market. So we're modeling after that process for potentially heading to RFQ summertime, fall, Tom?
Summer.
Yeah, late summer.
Yeah, hopefully sometime in July. Probably late July. We're about to go into a market sounding there with developers. One of the things that happened when it passed CDC is that CDC, or Capital Development Committee, asked that 28 parking spots be reserved for the governor's mansion. And so that has kind of, we're trying to figure out the feasibility of that. I think the project would be a lot smoother if we didn't have that parking problem. Just building structured parking or underground parking is so expensive for these affordable housing projects that it really makes the numbers hard to make the math. So that's really what we're working on now. We had hoped to have the RFQ actually out probably around this time, but we're really doing our due diligence on the math here and the feasibility of the project and the creativeness of how we can really make this work, and that it's a feasible project, and that when we go out to market on this RFQ, we get some really good responses. So that's what we're working on now, is working with our technical advisor on what is the math, and then doing a kind of going out to 5 or 6 different developers and getting their opinion. Do you think this is a project that is feasible as is, or do we have to kind of go back to CDC and see if we can get some leniency on the parking spaces? Can we, or is 28 the number that they definitely need?
And then Matt, I will turn it over to you for broadband update.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Good morning, everybody. Again, a project we've been talking about for some time, and with that's the CDOC broadband project that was funded from the Denver Foundation for the purchase and installation of broadband infrastructure for telehealth and telebehavioral health solutions for the incarcerated individuals at Lyman and Sterling Correctional Facilities. Lyman was completed, as you may recall from past calls, last October, and we did kick off Sterling installation this March, and that is slated for completion by the end of this month. And the punch list or the final walk is scheduled for July 2nd. So it's good news that we'll be wrapping up both of these projects in short order. So I don't know I know my update was a bit brief, but we're at the final stages here, and I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'd be willing to take those.
Great. So CDOT I-70 parcels, these were remnant parcels from the I-70 project in Denver. We worked with CDOT and some advisors in the I guess it was winter, early spring. There was originally 14 parcels that they had, and we worked with the community groups there on those 14 parcels to kind of pare them down to see which ones they'd be willing to allow CDOT to really a lot of them were just industrial or small parcels, and CDOT wanted to make sure that the community was okay with them just going through their normal process of selling them without doing any additional other work on them. So we pared them down to 3 that the P3 office will kind of do our normal pre-development work on them. So we've brought on a technical advisor, WSP, to start doing our normal process on these 3 parcels, where we'll look at market studies, we'll look at feasibility studies, phase 1, and see what these parcels can be. Can they be affordable housing? Can they bring childcare? Can they bring anything else that the community would be interested in? It is these parcels that you guys probably know the I-70 project was it was very controversial. So these parcels we want to make sure that we're talking to the community throughout this process, that they know that what we're doing, that they're involved, so that they feel that we're listening to them throughout the whole time we're doing this work. And that's why the CDOT brought us in on these to kind of make sure that we're doing right by the community with this work. And so that will start. We have our kickoff call with the technical advisor actually today to start doing that further work on those other 3 parcels that we pared down to. Durango, we actually purchased the land, finalized the purchase the same day. We internally chose who to go through with on the Lakewood complex. So that was a big day for the P3 office. It was an exciting day here. We were very excited. At that, everything with that property, we did the due diligence. It turned out everything looks pretty good. It was exciting. I actually presented to the URA board in Durango the other day just to give them a heads up of our plans. They were excited. They're thinking about actually making our development into a URA area. The CDOT regional headquarters is right next door to us. So the next steps in the process is we are having conversations with Fort Lewis College, the school district down there, and potentially people like Purgatory, the ski resort, and see if there's any interest in possibly purchasing the CDOT regional headquarters land down there to make this a larger development. They would purchase it kind of through us and then CDOT would move their headquarters to another parcel of land they have down there in the Durango area. And so this would become a larger development on the end of Main Street in Durango. And so that would be a really exciting project if that's the way we end up going. If we don't do that, the parcel we purchased is still, it's already been approved for 140 units market rate, so it's still a developable piece of land. So that was kind of our fallback if the larger vision doesn't come through. But either way, it's a way to spur affordable housing in the Durango area, which is very much needed. Any questions on that one? AHEC. So AHEC, I know we've been talking about AHEC for a long time. It is, I'm sure you'll be happy to know we are signing the IA in the next few days, and the money will hopefully be transferred by end of fiscal year. So that is exciting news. This is a project for the newcomers that is, it's for 300 plus attainable housing units and a child care center. So that project, it was conceived before interest rates spiked. And so there's been a lot of work kind of behind the scenes to make the math on this project. The phase one part of the project was initially a commercial building that was going to include a number of different tenants, office building, it has changed to a student housing complex with Metro State University. Phase two is the part of the project that we're putting $5 million into, which will be the 300 plus attainable housing units, and as well as the child care center. Prop 123 funding has also been awarded to this project, so the state has really kind of cobbled together its resources to make this work, which is great, which is why we're here, why we're doing the work we're doing. So I don't know what all these letters stand for, but the IA, it's like innovative finance something grant work. It's a grant we got from the United States Department of Transportation, Build Back America Bureau. It is what it's uses for. It's really to figure out, we've looked at we're going to look at 6 parcels that we own, and to figure out, the first phase is to figure out if those parcels are TIFIA eligible. And then if they're TIFIA eligible, we can then use this funding, which we got about $740,000 from DOT for, to then basically use that funding to supplement our budget for our normal process. Start doing feasibility market study work on these parcels and see if we're able to use these parcels for affordable housing, childcare, our normal process. And the parcels we're using it on are Lookout Mountain, Durango, Pueblo. We have it's Montview parcel, and then 2 others that we're looking at down the line potentially using it on is Grand Junction Regional Center, and then 1313 Sherman in Denver, which is currently a state office building, but we're potentially interested in seeing if it would be a potential converting it into residential and childcare center. So those are the 6 parcels we're looking at with that grant funding we got from US DOT. And then Lookout Mountain, we've done a master plan there already, so we know kind of what can be developed there. We now are doing further technical advisor work there, really looking into kind of the land, for more detailed infrastructure costs, and we are using the grant funding for this one, which is so looking if it's TIFIA eligible, and we hope to have go to market with this one in late fall, early winter, and do an RFQ process on Lookout Mountain for our kind of our third project this year. And that's in Golden. Any questions on any of these?
Can you guys, I can't remember, the Steamboat project, are you guys partnering with like the Buell Foundation?
Potentially, we're looking for private and foundation grant. We don't have anything currently. We don't have any partnerships or grant dollars from any private foundations currently. And the grants manager at Steamboat and also Routt County are also looking to strike up. We don't have anything currently with Buell though.
Yeah, it's just right down the bullseye for Buell.
Yeah, they're definitely on the radar. We're making those connections, and we're looking to close that gap in any way we can. That's definitely going to be looked at.
Great. Thanks for that heads up, Jay. If there's nothing else, thank you guys for joining. It's an exciting time. We've really made some progress, I think, in the past year. I think we have really done we currently are working on a strategy for the P3 office document that we hope to have out early next year, meaning early next fiscal year, for the state, and that will kind of lay out our ideas of how our office plans to become self-sustaining, where we can really, how we can use our office to not just do what we're doing now, but further expand it, how it can be used creatively, to really make an impact in our 4 pillars throughout the state of Colorado. And we're excited for that as well.
Well, we sure appreciate the update and some exciting stuff here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tom and Susan. I did drive by the Durango site about a week and a half ago, and I'm so glad that CDOT is your partner in that one. It's good to have them on board when you're in that region.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good to have them on board. Well, thank you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and feel free to reach out with any questions if you want to.
Thanks, everybody.
Great.
Jay and Carl missed you guys in Boulder, but our minds are full with quantum computing. So hopefully we get to see you guys soon.
Absolutely. So you guys have fun.
See you guys.
See you.
All right.
Good.
Bye-bye.